Hi everyone, welcome to a new edition on Peterson's Perceptions here. It's a big week in Cobber football, so we had to make sure we get a special video blog in. I'm Izzo along with Eric Peterson, and the head coach of the Concordia Cobbers, Terry Horan, joins us here in our luxurious studios. Welcome. And the reason we have Coach Horan here, it is a large game in Moorhead this coming Saturday.
Yeah, number 4 ranked St. Thomas comes to town. The Cobbers have moved up to number 17 in this week's poll. Big game for them. They've kind of gotten over the hurdle of beating St. John's earlier in the year. They lost a heartbreaker at Bethel, but since then they've been on a roll, and now that sets us up for this showdown.
This, in my mind, Coach, you tell me, I've had you on the radio every week. Right. The season's been aiming towards this. I think this is the biggest game for you guys in 7 years, since 2005. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I mean, this is why you coach and why your players play. I mean, they play for situations like this, and I'm so excited for our kids for getting this great opportunity, and it'll be a dandy.
St. Thomas comes in, as most D3 football fans, most football fans know, they are a giant. They're 8-0, 6-0. Since Glenn Caruso, former Bison assistant, has taken over, the Tommies have shot right to the top of the MIAC over the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah,
they've been the program in the league over the last few years, and what I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend is the matchup between the Cobbers rushing offense led by Brett Bowney versus that St. Thomas run defense, which is allowing like 57 yards per game, but the Cobbers are racking up more than 200 yards on the ground, so that's going to be an interesting matchup to see who can win that battle.
Give me a sense of the team's attitude, because after the Bethel game, it was easy to maybe go the opposite way, and boy, the cards are against us, and maybe the whole season go down. Instead, you guys have went the opposite way. How impressed have you been by that?
Very impressed. We got incredible leaders. You know, we have 24 seniors, and they've played a lot of football for us. And you know what? The one thing I told those kids after that Bethel game, hey, we control the controllables. You can control your attitude, you can control your effort, your preparation each and every week. Just have a big chip on your shoulder, and let's go show the rest of the league that we belong.
How much for your coaching staff aiming for this week to say, you know what, because you have the one loss, and you and I have talked several times, the MIAC's only going to get 2 teams into the postseason, not to, I guess, put the weight of the world leading into this game, but now here it is, and it's go time this week.
Well, very much so. It's like a playoff game. Yeah. You know, it really is, and we know our work's cut out for us. We've got a great opponent in St. Thomas, but boy, it's an exciting time to be a Cobber, and our kids are fired up for this. This is what we wanted when we looked at our schedule. Yeah. This is where we wanted to be.
The Cobber offense, and you can ask Coach Horan about this, just 50 points 2 of the last 3 games. That's unlike Concordia football, but they're rolling here at just the right time.
Well, I think what Coach Horan probably has to like is the balance they're starting to get. We knew about Brett Bowney. We knew about that run game. But last week, Griffin Neal threw the ball extremely well. Mark Whiting is emerging as a deep threat. You know, Mike Starkey made some nice catches. The week before down in Augsburg, Griffin Neal threw the ball well again. And I guess Coach can just talk about how his pass game has evolved here over the last few weeks.
It really has, and you know, you need to be two-dimensional to be successful. We know that. I mean, obviously, we love to run the football, you know, but you got to kind of take what a defense gives you. When you start sending 7, 8 guys in the box, you got to put the ball up in the air. And Griffin Neal, you know, when you think of Concordia, you think of the option attack offense, but this bugger can play the game, and he can throw the football, and he's got 2 great perimeter threats, and Mike Starkey and also Mark Whiting, and both those guys, our last 2 weeks have been solid, and it makes us tougher to defend, and we've got to be able to throw and run this Saturday.
What makes St. Thomas so good? What stands out? A1, we've got to stop this to win on Saturday.
Well, you just look across the board in all 3 phases. They're athletic as all get out. They got good size. Offensively, they mix it up between the run and the pass. You know, they have great size up front, and some of those guys up front are really young, first-time starters. And defensively, they're so athletic. You know, they're a 3-4 defense, and they'll come at you with 5, 6 different guys at a time, and they're very athletic there, and they've got really good special teams. They're well coached. Coach Caruso does a great job.
When you look at their quarterback, and you were telling us before we taped, you don't really know as we tape this on Monday who their quarterback will be come Saturday.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the depth charts yet. Usually those arrive sometime early this afternoon, and the O'Connell boy, who's been their starter all year, 2 weeks ago they played Hamlin, and he's in there through about partway through the second quarter, and then they bring in another QB. We didn't see any big hits or anything like that. and O'Connell didn't play against Augsburg. So, you know, we're kind of wondering, you know, what is happening.
I have to ask, well, as Coach Horan this in a second, but you and I have been talking about this since the preseason about the big three, that St. John's was here, there would be a tough game at Bethel, and then St. Thomas. How much, in your mind, is this a statement game for the Cobber football program on Saturday?
I think it can be a huge statement because a win here pretty much, you know, gets them back in the playoffs. Obviously, they have to take care of business the week after and finish out the season, but a win against St. Thomas would be huge. And the thing I look at that I think bodes well for them heading into this game is the experience up front. You got 5 seniors on that offensive line, which is anchored by Tom Knowlton, Fargo South product. On that D-line, you have guys like Reed Hefta and Paul Strike, also seniors. There's another senior in that rotation, so they're big and physical in those spots where the line of scrimmage. I know people don't think that's the exciting part of the game, but that's a lot of times that's where games like this are won.
That's right.
Yeah, how much, in your mind, is this a statement game to send through the rest of the conference and maybe even through Division III football? We win Saturday, Cobber football is back where it needs to be.
Well, exactly, and that's our goal. You bet it would be a statement. I mean, St. Thomas, whatever poll you look at, they're either 3 or 4 in the country right now, and you look at, you know, Whitewater has lost 3 times, defending national champion, and a few teams have made some statements there. Well, we'd like to make ours too.
What do you think biggest key for you guys to do on Saturday to win the game?
Well, it's the line of scrimmage. You know, we've got to do our job up front, and hopefully we can stay on the field with our offense. Time of possession will be huge in a game like this. But also, when you have 2 solid football teams going toe-to-toe, special teams will always come into play, and you know, who can tilt that field position game a little bit. And I've been so proud and pleased of our special units all year long, and hopefully we can have another big game.
You've seen a lot of games of the Jake. Where will this one rank, attendance-wise, feel-wise, just the tenor going into this game Saturday?
You know, I think it's going to be right up there. In the past, that St. John's game has kind of been the big game. Even earlier this year, they had a big crowd at that game. But like he said, what I'm looking at is turnover margin. That's always huge in these games. Like you said, special teams, they returned a punt and a kickoff for a touchdown this year. So if you can get a play like that, that can be huge in a game like this. And their kicking game, I mean, Ben Wagner, their kicker, has made all extra points this year, has hit some field goals. So if the game comes down to the wire, I think you need a kicker you can lean on and rely on.
I know you'll be in the zone Saturday, but will you take a second there will be a great crowd at the Jake just to soak this in of how big a game this will be for you guys?
Yeah, I sure hope so. I hope everybody comes out because this is a big game. You know, we just played at home Saturday with Carleton, and it was below 40 degrees, so the band wasn't able to play, and the crowd was, you know, a little lackluster, and just the collegiate fire wasn't there. We're hoping it's there on Saturday, and that would certainly help us.
Well, you're firing it up here on the internet, so all the college students, they're on that, and they're plugged into that. We appreciate you coming by, and good luck Saturday.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks,
Head Coach Terry Horan. The Cobbers get set for St. Thomas, #1 in the nation. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff at the Jake on our latest video blog on Peterson's Perceptions.